Good morning everyone from breezy Ayrshire. So the reason I'm sitting out here and just taking in the view at the moment is because I thought I'd find some really interesting evidence of what I heard last night. Around about 3:20 in the morning, I was obviously asleep. I'd been asleep for about 4 hours. And then I heard the most terrific scream. It was like a rabbit had been killed. So in my head, I'm like, oh cool, we're in the middle of nowhere. That's fine. Rabbit, rat, whatever's been killed, bird of prey, awesome. And we'd heard owls earlier. But then maybe about 10-15 seconds after that, I hear something screeching and I think, okay, the bird of prey is eating what he's just caught. But then there was a second kind of scream and screech, and I realised it was two owls that were fighting over whatever had just been caught, and it was sounding really aggressive, and it went on for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half of like, I don't know how everyone else didn't wake up because it was so loud. And at first, because I was half asleep, I thought maybe someone was getting murdered. But yeah, I can't see any evidence. Like, I've got up, I've had a little walk around with my coffee, and I can't see anything on the grass, so I'm guessing it might have been down there in the wood sorrel, because I'm sleeping with my camp bed and my head's near that door, and it sounded like it was behind my head, and it sounded like it was like a thump and thrashing around on the grass. It didn't sound like it was in the trees at all. But yeah, that was really cool for the first night here, and I'm looking forward to going to Culzean Castle with Liz later. Yeah, welcome to one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to.
The weather was supposed to be changeable, which in Scotland could mean snow showers, rain, wind, thunder, or even, hopefully, sun.
Okay guys, we're not in Yorkshire, but there's possibility of cattle or sheep on the road, so you never know what's going to be around the next corner.
In the corner and you're going up more, but we're just about the top now, I would say.
Wow.
I forgot, but a lot of Ayrshires got 20 mile an hour roads through the villages.
Exit the roundabout onto B7023. Continue for 3 miles.
Luckily for us, the drive to Culzean Castle is beautiful no matter what. The castle sits on the west coast of Scotland and is managed by the National Trust. Now, for those who don't know, the National Trust usually hold and restore properties and estates of national importance in the UK. They even have sites like Iron Age hill forts. Culzean Castle is a big deal, and I've been here twice before. But because it's also such an important tourist spot, there are some filming restrictions inside the castle. I'll fill you in on some history, and I also want to let you know of 2 significant events that happened while we were there. The first was very much unexpected, and the second was actually much expected, but never fails to make me jump. Robert Adams' clifftop masterpiece rises above a world of woods, beaches, secret follies, and play parks. Today we're concentrating on the main castle area. This glorious 260-hectare estate was once the playground of David Kennedy, 10th Earl of Cassillis, a man who was keen to impress with his wealth and status. Opulent to the extreme, the park is planted with conifers and beech, sculpted around miles of sandy coastline dotted with caves, and finished off with a swan pond, an ice house, flamboyant formal gardens, and fruit-filled glasshouses. The castle itself that we're visiting is perched on the Ayrshire cliffs, incorporating everything the Earl could wish for in his country home. It was designed by Robert Adam, as I've mentioned, in the late 18th century, and is filled to the turrets with treasures that tell the stories of the people who once lived here. Now on to the first unexpected event. Okay guys, so unlike most of this video and my previous Ayrshire vlog with Liz, this is unscripted. The reason being that I want to give you my authentic opinion of what happened, and then, as always, you can say what you think in the comments below. So, as I've mentioned, we weren't allowed to film in all the places within the castle, but you were allowed to take photos, so I'm going to intersperse some photos here. However, I did, and I'm going to admit to it, I did take a really short video of the place where this happened because it was just so bizarre. And my friend Liz experienced it, and then what happened at the end as we were going to a gift shop kind of cemented what I'd already thought. So, here is the unexpected event. National Trust houses are run by volunteers mostly, and these are people that have a really big interest in the property that they're at. So this means that when tourists come, especially foreign tourists who might not know anything about the area, there's a steward in each room, especially in the big properties, and they can specifically tell you about items in the room. It could be musical instruments, the big oil paintings on the wall, or it could be something interesting in the plasterwork. But basically, you need to know that in mansions and castles, and I've been to a lot, there is always usually a steward, at least in every room or within 2 minutes of you walking through a space. And when Liz and I went into Culzean Castle, there wasn't anyone with us. But then very quickly, a big group of American tourists, I'm assuming they were from Texas, just by their accent and what they were talking about, they happened to be going around at the same time as us. But there wasn't a guided tour, so they were self-guiding and then speaking to the stewards in each room. So the reason why this is important, and like I said, I'm interspersing photos, and we kept taking photos just after the American people had left to ensure that there was no one in the room and we could see the decoration properly. We would hear them talk to the steward, and we would poke our heads round to see through to the next huge doorway. And then once we knew that the American people were out of the next section, then we would go into that section. And without fail, let's say the first 4 or 5 rooms, there were these stewards. So they're just normal people standing around, they're not wearing a uniform, and they're usually holding a clipboard or some laminated paper. And this is really important for what happened to Liz and I believe the room is called the Blue Room or the Blue Drawing Room. I'll put the correct information on screen for you. So, we're walking through, there's been a steward in each room, we're trying to avoid the mass of American tourists because they're being really gauche about stuff. So we checked that the coast was clear, then we walked into this room, and I was like, oh, and I literally said, oh, like this, because to my right when I walked in, and I'll show you on the photo exactly where it was, I thought that a steward was standing to my right, ready to explain to me what they'd explained to the American tourists. And my friend Liz, unbeknownst to me at the time, also thought that there was someone else standing in the room with us. But then we soon realised that they would have to be standing the other side of the roped off barrier bit, and they were in front of this door that came in from another closed off bit. So it wasn't like they could have walked in, because the door's a big heavy oak door, as you can see in the photo, and the door is shut or closed over. There would be no way that someone could quickly have moved that distance from a door and just appeared there. And then literally I laughed it off and was like, Liz, you never believe it, I thought there was a steward in the room with us. And she was like, oh yeah, me too, whatever. And we spent maybe the least amount of time in that room as we did in all the others. And it just felt really odd, like we were being watched or whatever. And I don't know if I caught it on camera, but I thought there was a CCTV camera in there, which is why I pretended to take photos on my phone when really I caught this little bit of footage, because it just felt so weird. And no other places of a castle at that point had felt like it. It was really bizarre, but I just put it down to the fact that obviously I'd not had much sleep the night before because of those owls attacking that creature. And obviously I was excited to be on holiday with my friend Liz. So I was like, oh, it can't have been a ghost or anything like that, because I couldn't even put a face to it. I just thought there was a person, probably about 6 foot, just under 6 foot. I couldn't tell you if it was male or female. They looked like they were white Caucasian, but I couldn't give you any more details about their clothes or anything like that. So, next thing that happens, Liz and I have a little chuckle about it, carry on going through all the different rooms. We're looking at all the different photographs of people. Nobody's catching our eye. There are no weird feelings. The American tourists are still there, but they're in the distance. They even started singing The Sound of Music, which has nothing to do with Culzean Castle. They must have just thought it was some weird connection. But yeah, it was really awkward. So as you can imagine, it's not at all like a ghostly kind of paranormal walk or anything like that. And we get to the servants' stairs, and I started to get like a really bad headache. But at that point, we were due to have lunch. The rain had gone, so I'm guessing like the air pressure was changing. We were in a servants' stairwell, which was a little bit more narrow compared to the rest of the castle. So I just didn't think anything of it and thought, I'm getting a bit hungry. But as we were walking down the steps and Liz was debating whether to use the lift or not, when we get to the bottom, she actually said to me, like before we went into the kitchen or anything, like, can we please just sit down for 5 minutes? Which was weird because we'd already sat down upstairs and she hadn't said like her knees were hurting or anything like that. Basically, she also said she had a headache, but I hadn't told her that I had a headache. And then when I relayed this to my mum later on, she said, oh, don't you remember when we went? And that was in around about 2018. She said I had to have a sit down on that bench because I suddenly felt like I was getting a migraine. Obviously, I didn't know that when I was at Culzean this time, but that's an interesting side part to it. So we sit down maybe for like 5 minutes. We just say, oh, it's definitely time for lunch. It's a good thing the rain stopped. Let's go. Is you have to exit through the kitchens to go to the gift shop and then make your way out to the restaurant and the old farm buildings. So go through the kitchen. Nothing feels weird, but for some reason I'm drawn to the servants' bells. And I remember that did happen the last time I was there, but I just find it interesting how old technology works. And we're in the final big kitchen. I'll just put some pictures in here for you. And Liz saw that there was, again, a steward in the kitchen. So she went up to the person. Obviously, I'm not going to name them, even though they did have a name badge on, just in case they're not supposed to be telling us things like that. And bold as brass, Liz is just like, oh, my friend Kate and I had a really strange experience in the blue room upstairs. And then the woman says, before we say anything, basically reflected back the exact experience that I just had of like thinking that there was someone there. She described the exact same location. And then she also said that other people had experienced something at the other side of the room and something to do with the music box. But I hadn't experienced that at all. It had literally, I'd come through the door, thought there was someone standing to my right. There was no one there and there was no one in the room beyond. And it was just really interesting. And she mentioned a few other things. And she also mentioned the servants' stairwell that we'd just been in. And we hadn't told her how we felt at that point. And I genuinely don't know any paranormal history of the castle or anything like that. So guys, that's my unexpected event that happened. Like I said, it wasn't planned to be a ghost hunt or anything like that. As far as I'm aware, Liz doesn't believe in like any of the paranormal stuff. She's never been in any of our videos or anything prior to this. But yeah, it was really weird and I couldn't shake the feeling that there 100% was someone or an apparition or something there. I don't know why I'd left it on top of it. So it wasn't, none of it was within arm's reach. So we were just watching TV and then...
All of a sudden,
yeah.
yes.
That's what I'm saying, like it really messed me up because I was like, there we go, I knew everyone's would go off.
This is a test of emergency alerts, a UK government service that will warn you if there's a
There we go. How was that for you, Liz?
That was fun.
It wasn't as scary as last time. Yours has only just come through. It's like, let your woman talk.
Yeah, I was going again.
Mine's only gone once. Some people is going 3 times.
No, there was somebody behind you.
Well, after that unnerving government test and exploring the rest of the castle, the rain began to really lash down, so we hopped in the car and headed back to our glamping pod. I would definitely say that it's worth visiting Culzean Castle on a dry day with good footwear, otherwise you miss out on the gardens and beaches and even the caves. This video was filmed in September 2025, long before the war in the Middle East, so it really makes me wonder how long they were preparing for potential military action. Right, Kate, work out what this is in the distance.
I think it's a volcano.
Until I started editing this video a month ago, I'd totally forgotten that on our second day, there was a lunar eclipse, and for a moment, we experienced an unsettling silence in the nature all around us.
We're in the middle of the beginning of the lunar eclipse, and the birds have all gone completely quiet and the sky is really yellow, but randomly it looks a lot brighter than it did before. I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera, because there was an almighty clap of thunder about 5 minutes ago and the rain's eased off, but everything's become really bright.
I would say there's a yellowy orangey colour.
Like a weird tint.
Yeah.
I thought I could hear thunder, but I'm not sure. It's bouncing out of their crab shell.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time was that I ever saw it rain this hard.
The torrential rain and thunder continued, and as twilight fell, the swifts emerged to catch their evening meal of flying bugs. Thankfully, after such a stormy night, we were greeted with blue skies and sun, the perfect weather for visiting Ayr Beach.
Haha, I saw their house. Time to do some research. Oh, there's a big thing on the right as well, like a big... Is that
That's
a
it,
mine?
yeah, it probably is.
Is that a building? That big red building the other side of the chimneys?
Yeah.
It's awesome. I've not been on this bit of road before. I thought it was the bit I'd been on through the edge of Dalmellington, but I don't think I did. Right next to the river as well. That's really high as well. Right, where are we? And I can do some research. We are in
Waterside.
Oh yeah, that is a big thing. To investigate that, look at that. We're on our way to Ayr Beach. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for watching my mini travel vlog in South Ayrshire, Scotland. There's another vlog coming with my friend Pauline on a farm in North Ayrshire. If you have any Scottish destinations you'd like me to visit, please just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Until then, stay curious and enjoy yourself no matter what the weather.